Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Klaviyo turns your customer data into real-time connections across AI-powered email, SMS, and more, making every moment count so you can continue to build smarter, more meaningful relationships with your customers. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
Dominic?
Yeah.
You're no longer with your white dildo microphone?
I am not. I am back. I am begrudgingly back in the tri-state area while you are overseas still. We've not been in the same city for months at this point.
For months now. For truly months. And I see that you're wearing the Heart of the Ocean. And
I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing it. Okay. Testing it out for the holidays, seeing how it drapes betwixt my bosom. I am losing my tan. I went to Target this morning and the fucking place reeked of pumpkin everything.
Yeah.
I think this is how I feel about fall now, the way I assume people feel about Christmas, which is like, I like the fall as much as any person, but this pumpkin fascination it's gotten vulgar at this point. Like it's disgusting.
I went into Walgreens before I even went to Italy. And when I tell you I walked in and they had like the cedar pine cone, like Christmas scented pine cones, like at the register, and you could smell them when you walked in the door.
It's too much. Look, I love the holidays. I really try not to do anything holiday-ish other than talk about my shows until Halloween. And I just wish people would not do fall shit but there's a lot of pumpkin devotees out there. There's pumpkin fucking everything at Target. Yeah. There's like pumpkin douches there. I bought 4 of them. There are 2 of them inside me. I didn't know that's how you were supposed to use them. But when we're done here, I have to go to urgent care.
Dear God.
I think that I need to speak to my therapist about the strength of my opinions about Jennifer Lopez and how pendulous they swing back and forth to. Like, loving her and then hating her because I can only talk about her this week with my friends. She's had a wonderful week. I'm like an A+ fan of hers now after weeks of saying you should retire. My opinions about Jennifer Lopez are stronger than about some of the people I've been married to. Like it's unhinged. I have to speak to a professional about it.
You're like slowly falling down into like radicalism about Jennifer Lopez. And it is concerning, but I will say that picture of her and Matt Damon holding hands is absolutely next level in every sense.
She did so many things right this week. The first thing was at the Toronto Film Festival, she holds Matt Damon's hand. Now, Matt and Ben produced this movie that she's in, which is called Unstoppable, which I have never heard of before. And through which she is getting legitimate Oscar buzz again for playing the mother of this one-legged wrestler. It's a true story. And she's getting she's supposed to be absolutely fantastic, better than she was in Hustlers. And she is making a run for it. So
Dominic.
Can you imagine if Jennifer Lopez gets nominated for an Oscar? I'm going to be in the hospital.
I have goosebumps. Look at my arm hair. Think about her winning an Oscar.
Let's just get her to the dance first.
Great.
I can't even think about her winning. I can't.
Going up on the stage and is like, I would like to thank Matt Damon.
And not Ben Affleck.
And not ex-husband Ben Affleck. Like, imagine what will happen if and when that happens.
This is the speech. There are so many people I'd like to thank. Let's get loud. Ohani Noah, Chris Judd, Mark Anthony, A-Rod, Sean P. Diddy Combs, and Matt Damon. Thank you. I'm Jennifer Lynn Lopez. Good night. Oh, and my sister Linda from 1010 Wins. Thank you. Good night. Jennifer Garner. Now I'm leaving. I promise. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Anna de Armas. That
Dunkin' Donuts. I want to thank all the fly girls. Let me see who in my past have I done. Leah Remini. I want to thank
Mariah Carey.
Oh my God. I mean, her getting nominated would be tectonic for sure. Like it would take over the spring.
Cataclysmic, Dominic.
Unbelievable. And the dress.
Wait, so what are your opinions?
She did literally
everything right.
Everything right. She didn't talk about this movie all year. And she probably, she knows that she's good in it. And she's just sort of keeping it on the DL. Yeah. That's why she sort of kept quiet the whole summer, because she's like, you know what? You son of a bitch. I am going to win an Oscar, and I am going to pull a J-Lo wardrobe number, a vintage, and she's been doing this now for the better part of 3 decades, where once in a while she shows up in a dress and the world literally stops turning, because the dress she wore to the Toronto Film Festival is it's just 2 disco strips tied together with bows. I don't know how to explain it.
The best she's ever looked. This is supposed to be like a shell of herself, and she looks absolutely incredible. Like, body be banging is not even the word. Like, that side view where it's just the bows and her legs, it drove me insane.
It's otherworldly how good she looks. Now, of course, she has everything at her disposal, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sorry, it still takes work. It still takes work and dedication.
They don't look like that. Like,
no way. No way.
She has like a beauty mark on her body. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
she probably had them all removed.
Probably.
And then to be at the after party and be photographed holding the hand of your soon-to-be ex-husband's best friend, who, by the way, Matt Damon, I'm sorry, now looks like a character from King of the Hill. I have no idea what's going on there. He just shows up like a barrel. I don't know what. I don't know what is happening here.
Never forget that like 2 years ago, he did an interview where he was like, I've been saying the word faggot since the 90s. And like, it was just the other day that my child told me that I can't say that. Just, and continue on.
There was a time 2 years ago when I would have allowed him to call me that in the boudoir. But however, now, no, not so much. He needs to get on J-Lo's nutrition plan, whatever he's doing. Yeah, he's a dum-dum, but just the optics of that, she's a genius. She's an absolute genius. She's going to turn this around. She is turning it around. She is Woman of the Year 2024. I'm calling it right now. I'm sorry to all the other women and men and other genders, but she's
like in March.
I would say even earlier than that, to be honest with you. She's really...
she was...
Yeah. So we'll never stop talking about her here. And I'm sure next week she'll do something where I'll be like, she's out, I'm over it. But no. Something big always happens when we're done recording the Pre-Fixe, and nothing J-Lo big, but last week, as soon as we were done, they announced the cast for Dancing with the Stars. What in the reality Addams Family is fucking going on over on Disney Plus? I can not.
I know I say this all the time. Lining up to my television to watch this season. I must see Anna Delvey kick that leg with the fucking ankle bracelet on. I must watch her do a lift where that ankle bracelet is lifted into the air.
I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it, please go online and look at the publicity stills for all the celebrities.
I'm stopping you right there. Every person that is listening to this podcast has seen it.
She's wearing her fucking parole bracelet or whatever the fuck they call that anklet. That criminal anklet. In the photo. Is she going to wear it while she's dancing?
Criminal anklet is going in the glossary.
Crime anklet. Criminal anklet. I mean, this cast, Anna Delvey, Phaedra Parks, Tori Spelling, Eric Roberts, who dragged this motherfucker out of mothballs and put him on Dancing with the Stars. It's a genius move.
Gang's all here, Dominic. I'm a pig and clitoral shit.
And then we have the dad from Family Matters, Reginald Vell-Johnson.
Obsessed.
I can't. And then they put the Bachelorette. We're going to talk about this poor girl in a couple of minutes, but Jen Tran, the Bachelorette.
Where every person, I never know who they are when I'm looking at the cast. I'm always like, that has to be someone from The Bachelor. This has to be like, there's like 4 of them in there now.
And then, there's them. And then like a couple of sports people. There's some Olympic holdovers.
Yes. That like sportswoman that's like the big, like muscular woman. She's like a star, apparently. I don't really know much of her, but she's like huge. Like she's like a big, huge star. Like everyone's really excited for her.
She looks like China, the wrestler, to me. When I only saw, no, she does. She looks like China in China's heyday. She's like built and looks just like her.
Yeah.
So yes, we will be watching and reporting on this weekly, I suppose. And so Tyra's no longer the host of this program, correct?
She was.
Wow.
Well, even when we fixed her, she was out. She did one season and she looked crazy every episode, which is like, she always was in some fucking weird ass thing. And she's a psychopath, so she had no idea.
She would have fit right in here. This is the season she should have just behaved better to stay for this one, because this is the one that's going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah. It's what is his name? Carlton from The Fresh Prince. Alonzo.
Oh, he's hosting?
Alfonso
Ribeiro. He's hosting?
He won a season, and then he was the like, when Tyra was doing it, he was the like, you're not going to get this.
Oh, the correspondent.
The Mo with the leaderboard from Guts. Like he would be like the on like sideline correspondent. Right. And he now is the host. And I think Julianne Hough is like the sideline correspondent.
Got it. Oh, by the way, how has Tori Spelling not been on Dancing with the Stars?
My first thought when I saw her, I'm like, she's a decade too late to go on this show.
Yeah. I mean, she's having a moment now. She was already sort of having a moment, but then after Shannon Doherty passed away, we started like focusing in on Tori a little bit more and the ladies of Charmed. So it's sort of a good time for her to come, but I thought she would have been like a season 22 guest, not season 60. I believe we're in season 63. Anna Delvey wants an apology from Whoopi Goldberg because Whoopi keeps talking about Anna Delvey's case on The View and apparently getting the facts wrong. I guess Whoopi is unaware that Anna Delvey has apparently paid back the people who she owed money to, and so she's demanding an apology. What I want, of course, is for Anna Delvey to just go on The View and
go. Yes, please. We're begging. Why can't Dominic, look at me. Why can't she be on the Real Housewives of New York?
Well, there was talk of it for a minute, wasn't there?
Like, just do it. Why can't she be a friend? Just show up at a party. Come on.
They should try her out this year. They should.
Please, I'm begging.
I think she just wouldn't get a good reaction from the other women. I think that they wouldn't even be able to see past the publicity. Like, I don't think they'd like bite the bullet and just be like, let's do this. I think they'd be like, absolutely not.
Could she go on Summer House? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like if she just was at a party at Summer House, like that to me is ratings gold.
Speaking of the Housewives, I did spend a few minutes with your friend, the Countess Luann de Lesseps this week. And I have to tell you, because I was helping a friend with a shoe. Our friend of the pod, Jess Rothschild, was doing an interview with Luann for her pod. So I went over to set up cameras and stuff. And Luann was there with her lovely assistant. And Luann, I'd forgotten because I worked on Housewives of New York. Like, it had to be 15 years ago or more, season 2. She is truly, and I'm not exaggerating here. Like, as far as people that I've been in the same room with, and you think to yourself, this might be one of the most strikingly good-looking people I've ever been next to in person. Luann is that. Like, she's top 5 for sure.
When people are like, what are they like? Like, tell me the dish. I'm like, Luann, it looks like a different person. In like, she is not nearly as beautiful on camera as she is in real.
Isn't that strange? Isn't it? Because she is beautiful.
She's beautiful on the show normally, but when you see her in person, she is truly like, and she's tall and she's loud.
So tall.
But there's so many other parts of it that in person, there's a magnetism about her.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like so And like everyone that I've ever told this and then they've met her in person have been like, oh my God, you were right. Like she's gorgeous.
She is just in, not to body shame, she is in what you would call stereotypically perfect shape. She's almost 60 years old. Her skin is flawless. She's just so dynamic. I now think that she has not been as big of a star as she should have been because her natural magnetism, more now than when I actually worked on the show. Like she is, I also think women are much sexier in their mid to late 50s than they probably are in their mid to late 30s or early 40s. Sorry, ladies, it's just the truth. I feel like she's peaking at this moment. Like she walked in the room and every ounce of light just bounced off of her. I really
Yep.
I'm hard to intimidate, and she is like intimidating to be around. She's that level of like, when she put her arm around me to take a photo, I shook, I froze, I didn't know what to do.
Oh my God.
She changed me. I think that I might be bisexual.
Moving on.
Her voice, by the way, one of the top two, she's up there as far as she's there with Lauren Bacall for me. The smoky, don't be all uncool. She actually said that when we were in the room. I bet she says it every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was in the room when she said it the first time.
She went through many of her catchphrases actually in the few minutes we were together. It was pretty outstanding.
Moving right along.
Kendrick Lamar will be your Super Bowl halftime performer.
Wow, wow. Like,
but
oof.
There's a but here though, because I was doing, I did actual research this morning. Of course, he's one of the biggest, like, yes, thumbs up. Of course he should be. But the hip hop community is severely divided because they assumed and believe that because the Super Bowl's in New Orleans and because Lil Wayne is also an icon and from New Orleans, that he should have been the halftime show or that he should be a guest.
Sure. But there's a but here as well. Lil Wayne has not been like on a stage performing like on a national stage in way too long.
Correct.
Like he is not. Like if he was at the Grammys last year, sure. But like I ask all the time, is Lil Wayne dead? Like where is he?
You have said that on this very podcast. Yes.
The rap game of like the normal world by storm. Like every person that like knows what rap is was obsessed with him for the better part of a decade.
Mm-hmm.
What new song does he have? Do you have any idea? Because I don't.
Well, here's what I surmised from going through a lot of stuff, Shade Room, World Star, etc., where I get my hip hop information from.
Okay.
You know, they're obviously going to choose someone that has broader appeal. Kendrick Lamar has broader appeal than 100%. Lil Wayne. 100%. But to fans of hip hop, it seems like Lil Wayne, legend wise, remains a full to half step above Kendrick. And there's like a big divide here. Like a lot of major hip hop people are coming out, including Nicki Minaj, who is never, she's never one to bite her tongue about anything, but she is sort of causing a war. Like everyone's saying Jay-Z picked Kendrick. Jay-Z doesn't like Drake. Jay-Z hates Lil Wayne. And it's all of this lore that I don't know all the details with, but I will dive a little deeper into it. But there are people that are genuinely pissed about it.
Nicki Minaj is like praying that it's Lil Wayne so that she can be there and perform. She wants to be the guest, obviously. So
sure.
It's not hard to see why she's saying this.
It's also funny how people will, and it's so funny when celebrities do this, because I feel like if you're going to be a celebrity and you're going to tweet something controversial, name them. Use the names. It's like people are talking about Jay-Z, but they won't actually say Jay-Z or Hove or whatever. Like they just allude to him, but they're afraid to do it.
Yeah. Mr. Beyonce Knowles.
No shit.
Okay, but like walk with me for a second. Think of like Kendrick Lamar coming out on the world stage at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm feeling good. Mm-hmm. I feel that I'm going to have a performance happen. I feel like there's probably some guests coming. I feel like there's I just feel that energetically I'm getting a show.
And you're getting months of a soap opera leading up to it, and a lot of guessing about what's going to happen because if everyone's revolting because they want Lil Wayne, will Lil Wayne make an appearance because it's being in New Orleans? I don't think that this will happen, but will Drake make an appearance? You know, it's so unlikely, but that would be the key of the
Incredible.
absolute millennium
Incredible.
if he came out there.
Incredible. It would be incredible. But then think like, okay, Lil Wayne is going to do the halftime show. I'm nervous.
About what? He's going to set something on fire or die?
Like, is this going to be a Fergie at doing the national anthem situation? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's always a backup. I believe every year Katy Perry's in the wings just in case someone dies right before, so she can go out there and sing Roar.
She's done it. I don't know. What's Lil Wayne's going to be like? Lollipop? Like, huh?
Well, he wanted it.
I don't know.
Well, in fact, I don't think you need to have a current hit song to do the Super Bowl. I mean, you're supposed to be iconic. Mary J. Blige and Dr. Dre did it a couple years ago. No one heard from them for years. I mean, it's just about your stature.
That was like all of them together, and that was like something really special. And that made that wasn't just one person. That was all of them together. It's not Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj and all the people that sang like, and like T-Pain and this part. Like, that would be fun.
To me, the Super Bowl is such a universal thing. I have never thought that the city where it's taking place needed to honor people who were from there. I never made that connection. It's sort of like if the Super Bowl's in Savannah, does Paula Deen have to be the halftime show? Like, no.
Goodbye.
I just don't know why. I don't know why that's an automatic thing. I think people love Lil Wayne and always root for him. Sure. And they were hoping this would be like his third act moment. And it just didn't happen.
So do I. I'm also rooting for him. That's why I'm always asking, like, where is Lil Wayne? Much like I'm rooting for Shelly. But here's the other thing is like, people want to be mad about something on the internet more than ever, just for the engagement of it. The number of times, do you ever go onto Threads?
I try not to because it's too abusive for me. And this podcast is pretty abusive, but Threads is like a step above that.
They try to show me things that are like, oh, here's this thing on Threads, like maybe, and it's usually eye-catching, and I'll go to click on it, and it'll be this thing, and like all the comments underneath it are like, this isn't real, you're just doing this to get engagement, blah, blah, blah. And all these people like screaming at each other in the comments. And I'm like, oh, this is like a dark, horrible, like everyone wants to like have a like gotcha moment or like a big, like, here's my news flash kind of a thing, so that people will fight in the comments and get them like engagement on their posts.
Everything that it said it was improving upon from Twitter, it's just become Twitter. It's just the same thing. It's sort of just a gross place to go. So I'm not. And really
I only bring this up to mean like, because people are probably tweeting and going on Threads and talking about it, and it's like, or in the comment sections, and it's like truly all engineered for like people to get in fights, so that there's like 7,000 comments on a picture.
Yes, they call it. I learned this week they call it rage bait, which I didn't know. I'm wondering now if that's what we do as well.
Is that us? I don't think we do that. We don't not do that, but I don't know if we do it outright.
Look, I love the internet too, but when people just fight back and forth written out like that in a public forum, I must be elderly because I'm like, just pick up the phone and yell at them. It's quicker. Like, what is this? Like, you're going to wait an hour and then respond? Like, this is not how you fight.
Also, have you ever in your life gotten into a fight on Instagram with someone and they've changed your mind, or you've changed theirs? Has that ever happened? I
wouldn't know. I usually block them before they have a chance to write back. I don't even engage
with people. Are you kidding me? Anyway.
Moving right along. It's surprising no one. Diddy is selling his home in the Los Angeles area for $61 million. She needs cash, and I think we know why.
Yeah.
On behalf of the city of Los Angeles, bye. We spoke about, do you have thoughts?
I'm just like, like, oof. Like, that's the first domino fallen. Like, what's next? They're going to like liquidate all of his assets, right?
I mean, I'm assuming,
right?
He's gonna need money soon. There's gonna be if he stays out of jail, there's gonna be a line of civil suits,
a mile long.
So the CMA nominations come out this week, and the biggest country album and single of the year, which would be Cowboy Carter and Texas Hold'em by one Beyonce Carter Knowles Carter, gets 0 nominations. And the background, of course, is the whole reason Cowboy Carter was even made was because Beyonce had several years ago experienced some sort of snub at the CMAs. So her album was a little bit of a fuck you, and CMAs are like, oh yeah, fuck you again. Her song was the #1 country song for 10 weeks this year. And the song and the album did not get mentioned at the CMAs.
Guess what? no one gives one single, now I'm rage baiting, no one gives one single solitary fuck who got nominated for a CMA award. Like, who watches CMT for real?
Well, I think Beyonce gives a shit because she recorded an entire album to tell them to go fuck themselves. So you may not care. She definitely does. And this is absolutely, it's egregious.
No, it's horrible.
It's like not nominating Taylor Swift for any Grammy Awards. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Dominic, I could have told you the day that the album came out that they weren't going to nominate her. Like, should come as a surprise to no one. And what I want to happen is for her to get nominated for a country Grammy and win it and be like, CMAs, you're fucking stupid. I have a Grammy now and you're like I blew all your little white bitches out of the water with my Grammy for the country award. Like Alison Krauss, like, get the fuck out.
Like they nominated like Post Malone and all it's just like they are just like they are
bitches. Yeah.
Let's go to the UK, and there's so much shit going on over there. The best news ever is that Kate Middleton is done with chemo and is on the mend and has released a heartwarming video of her frolicking around the woods with William. And I believe she's getting better. She says she's trying to stay cancer-free.
Wait, is she really frolic? I haven't seen it at all. Is it ridiculous or is it fun?
I may be exaggerating with the frolicking, but it is them and the kids, and they're in the forest and they're like jumping around. And she is saying that her main focus in life now is to stay cancer-free, and she's going to be doing a few public engagements, and that she's on the mend and that she's done with chemo. Good. The strangest thing ever, though, is I read that the palace is not allowing her to say what kind of cancer she had.
Oh, I thought you were going to make a joke about Meghan Markle.
Oh, she's coming. Don't worry.
I was already laughing because you were like, the strangest thing that I was like,
I didn't know what you were laughing at.
A woman came out of the woods and her name was Meghan Markle. I was getting ready for you to do the quintessential Dominic, like setting up a joke about something being ridiculous, like in a time of so much calm. They're not letting her say?
Yeah, no one knows what kind of cancer she has. And apparently the palace doesn't want her to, which to me, and this is based in absolutely nothing, means that it's pancreatic cancer or one of the ones that has a very low survival rate, and they just don't want to panic people. It's just a guess. I know absolutely nothing.
Or just yeah. I mean, I won't lie to you. There's enough remember when everyone was like, she's dead and like, she's not like.
We said on this podcast that you were deceased.
But like everyone, we were doing it as a joke, but like there were so many people that were like, look at this like body double they put in that car of her. Like people are going fucking crazy about it. So I think like give the woman a fucking break. I think they're like, don't say this because then every single person will try to like re-diagnose you with cancer every 2 days. Know what I mean?
I do. I hope that she stays well. She looks really good in the videos. Now, the video is obviously recorded a separate time because William doesn't have a beard in it, but he is currently in real life sporting a beard, and people are losing their minds. We've talked about it before, but he's sort of entering a new era. I don't know if he's trying to fill the rugged void that Harry has left by defecting, since he is facial haired. But
by rugged, you mean like the softest hands in the business. You know
there are just article after article about his beard. The Duchess of Schmuckers shows up in, where the fuck did they live? Montecito, Santa Barbara. Shows up at a bookstore party there. They did a local authors party. And she showed up along with a bunch of other very wealthy people who live in the area. Among them, Oprah Winfrey, who I am now, if I wasn't convinced before, is the architect behind whatever sort of comeback Meghan is going to make. She's clearly been blessed by her.
But not to no success, by the way.
Not yet. No. I mean, if there's a big moment coming, you better give us a hint because we're starting to lose interest here.
My sister like wants to come on this show and be like, here's how I can get Meghan's like jam to market as like a person that does consumer packaged goods.
And for those of you who have forgotten, Chris's sister actually works at Schmuckers, the real Schmuckers.
You have to come on like as yourself, not as like someone from Schmuckers, because like that was bad. Like you can't do that. Like, and she was like, no, I would just come on as myself. But she wants to come on and like fix Meghan Markle's like company that doesn't exist.
I just don't know. I just don't. She needs a CEO. She needs a CEO first.
I don't think we're ever getting a product. We're never getting a product.
Do you want to hear the funniest thing about this bookstore where they were featuring local authors? Harry did not go with her, but one of the books featured, because Harry lives in Montecito, was Spare, his book. How dare she? How dare she?
I can't breathe. This was a book that was like...
First of all, how dare they call themselves authors? They're just famous people with books. There's a huge fucking difference.
A local author is not the memoir that like not only ripped a family to shreds, but like was like a cataclysmic like reckoning of the world. Like it
broke the monarchy. It literally broke the monarchy.
Yes, everyone in the world was reading this book. It wasn't like he wrote a little like he didn't write Big Little Lies 2 and like
no. This book destroyed a way of life and killed the Queen of England. And this bookstore in California is trying to make it seem like, oh, Harold up the street wrote this biography about himself.
A summer breed, like a smutty summer read. Like, no.
Try some jam. My husband wrote this book.
Oh my God.
So also, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but Netflix released the trailer for Harry's Polo documentary.
I have not seen it.
It's very relatable because Polo is very relatable. This is what I have to say about Polo. I have always thought that Polo was the most absolutely ridiculous thing I have ever seen. Of course, you raise an eyebrow when any animal is included in a sport, but you have to ride these animals and also hit something at the same time. And I just don't, you know what, rich people, do you know what a Rubik's Cube is? Do that. It's all the same skills of coordination. You're not hurting a horse. You don't have to carry a hammer. It is so utterly ridiculous.
You know, remember whenever Kyle Richards had her like that weird like caftan line, like not the first, not Kyle Eileen, the second one where she had that caftan line where they were then like in Fashion Week or something. And Sutton looked at her and was like, you should do yacht wear, like for people with yachts to buy clothes. Like clothing for yachts. And Kyle looked at her like she had 17 heads and was like, no one with real money wants to buy my clothing. Like, you fucking idiot. Like, I'm selling to the viewers of this television show, not people with yachts, you idiot. That is what this is. He's like, you know what's so fascinating and relatable? Polo. And we're like, it couldn't be a more elite thing that we don't know anything about if you try. And I don't want to learn about it from your documentary.
He doesn't know. The only way this is relatable is that instead of hitting polo balls, they're hitting leftover jars of Megan's jam that are never going to sell.
That aren't real, that don't exist. Yeah.
The Bachelorette finale aired, I believe, late last week. And The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, obviously they're trying to find love, but they're also trying to give you a shocking television show. Everyone who goes on this show should know that. However, Bachelor Nation feels like The Bachelorette may have taken it a step too far because apparently Bachelorette, I did not watch this season. The Bachelorette chose someone and did the proposing this year for the first time ever in Bachelorette history. And then after the proposal, apparently the guy that she proposed to not only lost interest, but just sort of ghosted her. And no one knew.
Like the show cameras are down. See you later.
Reunited on the reunion. So they come out. She says that he's lost interest. He comes out. She tearfully, they have their little argument or whatever. Like, what the fuck happened? Where did you go? And then the host says, let's take a look at the proposal that you did that got us here. And everyone's like, but they've already thought about it. We're going in the wrong order. And men made her sit there and watch her propose to him after she's already spilled her heart out about him destroying her.
Yeah, like we should be moving on to the next segment, not like starting back from zero, right?
Not go in reverse. Yeah. So it was, I have not watched it. I'm only knowing what I read. And then, of course, 5 minutes later, she's on Dancing with the Stars, to which I'm like, oh, she's going to be fine.
she's going to be fine. I saw the like Diet Prada post where they were like, is this like too far? They're making her rewatch something. And I'm like, yes, but like, you're at the reunion. So isn't that the whole point of what this is? But
it is.
You're explaining it to me. I do understand that it looks very much like you haven't cried enough. So we're going to make you cry even more on camera.
It was the way it unfolded. Like they should have shown the Bachelor Nation is saying they should have shown the proposal first, not after she already
out. Duh.
It would be like ending the Vanderpump reunion by showing the moment that what's her name found out about Tom Sandoval cheating on her. It's like, we already did this. Like, why are you pouring salt in my wounds?
Yeah, this is why we're here, not like this fun thing that we're gonna God.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is cutting back to 4 nights a week. They will not do shows on Fridays. A huge ruh-roh.
Are we ever gonna have jobs again, Dominic?
I don't know.
I don't know. If I'm serious, I'm not sure if I am. I'm like, the more that I read and the more that I see, I'm like, I don't know what this industry is becoming.
Well, this is our job now. This is it.
This is the only job I have now.
This is our job. And I was already at watching The Tonight Show 0 nights a week. So this doesn't affect me personally. But it is sort of worrisome for late night television in general that this is happening to one of the big 4 shows. I'll include The Daily Show in there.
The biggest one.
So who knows? Who knows? Nicole Kidman, goddess of our planet and of our podcast.
Queen of the world. Queen of AMC.
She wins Best Actress at the Venice Film Festival for the erotic thriller Baby Girl, but unfortunately can't attend the ceremony because her mother passed away, and her mother's been sick for some time, apparently. She released a beautiful and heartbreaking statement, and they accepted the award on her and her mother's behalf. We love you, Nicole Kidman. I mean, we talk about you a lot here. I am in episode 5 of The Perfect Couple on Netflix. And as always, I'm not only enjoying your performance, but I want to be the character you're playing, no matter how miserable she is, as long as she's rich and fucking Liev Schreiber.
Is it good?
It is. It's the Whiter Lotus is what it is.
Sure.
It is all it is. And there's a death in the first episode, and then you spend the rest of the time questioning whether every character on screen.
Oh, so it really is just the Whiter Lotus.
It is the white. It is a sheet cake that never ends. And I'll be sad when it's over. It's delicious. They are so rich and so beautiful. They are, unfortunately, the hottest person in the show is actually of Indian descent, but other than him, it's incredibly Caucasian, led by Queen of Caucasoids, Nicole Kidman. However, it's very entertaining to me. Yeah,
robot, alien, human that we are obsessed with, that we will bow down to forever. When we were in Sorrento where the Tomato Girl pic was taken on my Instagram,
yes.
Yeah. Son and I looked around like the first day we were there, and we were like, this is like a normal person's White Lotus. And we like every day for the whole time we were there.
I mean, I guess we should just say this. Harvey Weinstein's in the hospital. I hope he never leaves. There's your headline.
I mean, is he going to die? Probably, right?
Hopefully.
He's like really old. How old is he?
He's in his 70s, but
and he looks fucking terrible. So
he looks like absolute shit. But they had to rush him from Rikers, and he's weak, and he had heart surgery.
Oh, brother.
Good.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin may be facing a retrial. They are getting their shit together. That prosecution who was humiliated in front of the world. This is never going to end.
It's never going to end.
It's never going to end. They're going to try to keep retrying him. And every time this happens, I believe Hilaria Baldwin will get pregnant. That is her go-to. She'll either get pregnant or have a surrogate have a child of hers, but it's not going to stop.
I can't believe we're back here again. Like, I thought this was it.
But it's like what you said a year ago. No one's going to be satisfied until we see a picture of him in an orange jumpsuit behind bars.
Just do it.
Just do it, dude. Go there for 6 months. Plead out. Stay a year.
And then you're done forever.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to keep, oh God, this is terrible.
And I don't want to be disrespectful to Helena Hutchins, but I believe it was accidental. You know what I mean? I can't.
No, of course.
He didn't murder her, but you know what? There was negligence. He was a producer. You're the face of it. Put this family, just go.
We've said it so many times. There's still a person that's dead.
Go. Just go. Just check in. You know what? Pull a wag the dog and don't just pretend you're going and have someone do headshots and then hide in the Hamptons for 6 months. Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, like just pretend that you're doing it.
Hire Annie Leibovitz. Just get this over with. You're wasting so much money. You have 11 teen children. You can't afford to keep doing this.
No. I can't do another soap opera picture of the two of them. First, we had the lap pic. Then we had the picture of them in the courtroom where she like is hugging him, looks like an alien. I can't do it. I can't do any more pictures. I can't.
The Gosselin child, what was his name? The one that's already been talking shit about his mother, the one that got bounced from the Marine Corps, Colin Gosselin. Oh, that almost rhymes. He's now telling a story about at one point his mother zip tying him and holding him hostage in their basement. So this kid's pulling like a Jolie Pitt child moment and just saying, I'm going to just start scorching earth so no one will ever speak to you again.
Yeah.
And this happened, he said, when he was a kid, a young kid. So I don't believe that Kate Gosselin has responded. I'm sure she'll just say that all of the men in her family are insane and that he's one of them. And I don't know. But I mean, zip tying a kid is a pretty serious accusation.
Yeah.
So Katy Perry was in the news a little bit this week. She gave some.
No, the day that our episode dropped,
She did that interview.
He was on Call Her Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to be relatable, trying to say when Orlando Bloom puts the dishes in the dishwasher, I'm like, someone's getting their dick sucked tonight. And I'm like, you're a fucking loser.
Someone must have tipped her off. Do you think it was our editor? Do you think he's in cahoots with the Perry camp? And he was like, you better get on a more reputable podcast and defend yourself. She got on there and talked about a brief separation from Orlando. She talked about giving him blowjobs when he does chores around the house. She defended working with Dr. Luke very weakly, I might add. Like, if you are her and you have 2 brain cells, you know that is what every single person that knows anything about music has been saying about your new album forever. Like for the whole time that it's been teased. So the fact that she goes on this podcast and doesn't have like an ironclad, completely PR written out like response that she's practiced 900 times when she is asked this question is so laughable to me that I'm like, you are a fucking loser. You don't even want to be famous. And like, it is hilarious how badly she responded to the question. That interview, all due respect to the old man because I love him, but it was like watching Joe Biden at the first debate. I just looked at her during this interview. I was like, did you not know 5 minutes ago that you were going to be here? Because you are woefully unprepared and you are coming off worse than you did before you got here. Like it's literally ridiculous.
I want to write an article about this and I think I will. But like A-list celebrities really try to be relatable these days and it's so backfires on them every time they do. Like Blake Lively's in the situation she's in because she tried to be like, I'm just like everyone, like just tried to be like, yeah, we're all girls. Like Katie's doing the same thing too. I'm like, you guys are bona fide superstars. Like you can't try to be like, right, ladies, when your husband does the dishes, am I right? I'm like, you have 17 maids that live in your house.
So that too. And I hate this expression because it's been overused now, but you do want to say to her, do better. Like you owe it to everyone who stood by your middling music career to just do better. Please do better, for God's sake. It's better sometimes to not say anything than to do that.
We want you to say something crazy that's like, I don't even know where my dishwasher is in my house. That's fun.
Yes.
It's fun. Like that would be like, if she's like, I don't even know what dishes, I've never even taken a dish off of the table to put it away because I have so many.
It's a great point.
We love it. We would love that.
You know what? You know what Kim Kardashian does in situations like that? She gives you a tour of her private plane where everything's lined with cashmere. That I have respect for. Like, if you're going to be an asshole, stay an asshole. Don't try to get on there and be like, oh, I sucked Orlando Bloom's dick today. It's like, yeah, but a fucking rapist produced your album and you knew he was a rapist when you hired him. So what the fuck? Oh, you're going to hear me roar, bitch. She needs to do better. She needs to do better. So I never thought I would say this. This is another one whose opinion is very swings back and forth to me, but God bless. Selena Gomez is a billionaire. Forbes has now calculated the value of all of her brands, specifically her makeup brand. She is a billionaire. So I don't know that I'll ever be saying another thing about her because you know who's not a billionaire? Myself and Chris DeRosa. So congrats to Selena Gomez.
I never have any slander. I have no slander for her. Know that I share a birthday with her. I share a birthday with her.
I didn't know that. Yes. I didn't know that.
Cancer strong here.
She is dating Benny Blanco. And apparently he is the love of her life, and she's never been happier. She also gave an interview where she announced that she is unable to carry her own children, which was very heartbreaking for her because she's had a series of chronic illnesses over the past couple of years. And I've started watching Only Murders season 4, which is as delightful as it always has been. So she seems to be having a good year. I mean, I guess in a year where you're certified a billionaire and find the love of your life, I'm not sure how much better it can get.
What else do you want, Dominic?
I don't know. I need her to pee on me so my year could get better. I should say, you know what? My year is actually pretty good. I'd still let her pee on me though. I've waited my whole life to utter this phrase. Naomi Campbell versus Anna Wintour.
Dominic. So I'm on a boat going from Sorrento to Positano.
Okay. This is already bougier than Meghan Markle at a Montecito bookstore with her husband's book.
She wishes. And this woman taps me on the shoulder and she goes, "Oh my God, I love your bag. Where did you get it?" She's this, how do I even describe her? Basically, it could have been Naomi Campbell. This woman was skinny, gorgeous, and just like a supermodel. I'm like, Are you a supermodel? She's like, "I love your bag so much. Where did you get it?" I'm like, "Oh my God, it's this, blah, blah." Then we start talking to her. And, Hassan's like, the minute the door opens, Hassan's like chatting her up, like immediately. Mm-hmm. We find out that her son is Naomi Campbell's agent. And this is like the day of the drama. And I'm like, "Did you see the blah, blah, blah?" And she's like, "I already talked to my son. He said it was crazy, blah, blah, blah." Like, I was boots on the motherfucking ground. I'm living for this story. Living for it.
Naomi was getting an award. Anna was presenting it. Naomi was late. Anna made a snide reference to it and then left. Is that the story?
No. She assumed that Naomi would be late because Naomi's always like 3 hours late to everything. And when she found out that she was going to be on time, Anna Wintour on purpose said, "I must present this award earlier than it was supposed to be so that she could present it and say like, if only Naomi was on time, she would be getting it," and then left and went to the US Open where she was then photographed in the same outfit so that she could not be there whenever Naomi got the award. And then Naomi said, "I'm so glad that you, other person that is giving me the award, but I'd rather have you," as in like not Anna Wintour who left early.
Right. She referred to Anna Wintour as that other lady.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Anna left that tried to present it earlier and left on purpose. Yes. That's pretty shady.
Did present it earlier and Naomi wasn't there. So then when Naomi showed up, they had some other woman.
Right. This part I didn't know. I thought Naomi was legitimately late, not that she was going to be on time. And Anna was like, "Well, then let's make her look late."
No. Anna was like, no matter what, Anna was like, "I'm out of here before I have to actually hand this to her." Because apparently they fucking hate each other.
Interesting. And also, I'll be honest, a touch racist. If you're going to make her look late when she's not late,
yes,
you're in trouble, Anna Wintour. That's not good. That same day she went to the US Open and asked Hoda and Jenna to be quiet. This was the next story. I'm not even joking. Apparently Hoda and Jenna were getting a little too loud at the US Open and Anna Wintour asked them to keep it down. Look at the link I sent you. I swear to God.
I'm in shock.
They were probably drunk, Hoda and Jenna. They weren't at work. They're at a fucking tennis match. They're probably having a honeydews.
Yeah. Okay, I tried to open the link, but there are 17 pop-ups on page 6, so I can't get to it.
Oh, page 6. Why are you doing this to us? Anna Wintour asked loud and annoying Jenna Bush Hager and Hoda Kotb to quiet down at the US Open. That is the headline.
The pictures of Hoda and Jenna that they're using are amazing.
Right. She just asked them to turn it down a notch. This lady's just going after everybody.
Meanwhile, it's like, shouldn't you be giving an award to Naomi Campbell right now? Why are you here?
She humiliated a black woman to go to a tennis match and yell at a white woman and I believe an Egyptian woman. She's literally in the United Colors of Benetton insulting all races in one day. Cancel Anna Wintour. This is it. We're done.
I mean, this is bad. Like, that's fun. She, like, the devil really does wear Prada, doesn't she?
Someone posted on Twitter because it's Fashion Week. Someone keeps posting the outfits that Anna is wearing as, once again, Anna Wintour shows up in an outfit that no one will be buying in the spring.
She's always in those like florally dresses with those like, she's like the only person that's white that still wears like stunner shades.
She's,
you know what I mean?
She has her own style. Yeah. And she does not deviate from it. She just does not. She looks like that little woman from The Incredibles. I mean, that's who she is. I'm surprised she keeps that haircut.
Oh, God. Well,
JC Chazé, long rumored to be the actual most talented queen from NSYNC, is releasing a concept album based on the story Frankenstein. And this takes place 10 years after the events of Frankenstein. And it's Dr. Frankenstein speaking to his monster. I know that this sounds utterly ridiculous, but you know what? You go, girl. Just do you. He's living on that NSYNC money. Do what your passion is. I'll buy it.
It's odd. It is strange, but
it is.
Yeah.
Always wished he was the gay one instead of Lance.
Yeah.
Did. When you heard there was going to be one, you were like, please let it be him.
No, and you know what's funny is like if you go back to he's very much like the sporty Spice. Like as much as Scary was like the front woman of the band and like did most of the vocals, like all of the hardest singing they gave to Sporty. And JC is kind of that same, like all the hardest singing.
Yes.
Yep. And even though Justin was like obviously the one that becomes like the bona fide superstar, right. JC was the one that when they needed like someone to have a really like silky voice or to like really belt, he's the one singing. Like this could be great, like what he does, but a concept album about Frankenstein is not on my bingo card for the things that he
No. John Benet Ramsey. I mean, I don't know if this cements someone's iconic status, but she's finally getting the miniseries that we've all been waiting for. And her parents will be played by Clive Owen and Melissa McCarthy. That last part excites me. I got
multiple things. I have two things to say. I have three. Actually, I have three things to say. Okay. Number one, when will they let this woman's soul rest? This girl's soul rest. Like, enough. Number two, will I be watching every single episode of it? Yes.
Oh, yeah. By the way, anytime Melissa McCarthy gets a chance to play a purely dramatic role, it is something you should make an appointment for. And I mean that. She is one of the most underrated dramatic actresses that we have. But go ahead.
What was the movie that she did with the guy where she was writing like the letters on, they were fake?
Can You Ever Forgive Me? It is
film.
Best movie of that year. The book, you should read that book too. It's very short. It's fascinating. And the movie was pretty true to it. It's a fascinating story.
Great.
She was brilliant in it. Brilliant. And they shot it at Julia's.
Yes.
Yeah. The oldest gay bar in New York City.
Number three. Someone DM'd us after the Katy Perry episode and said, how on earth did you not bring up the conspiracy theory that Katy Perry is John Benet Ramsey? And
I never heard this.
But this is like a real conspiracy theory that people have like gone above and beyond to like put the dots together to be like, that is John. She was kidnapped and now she is Katy Perry.
Oh my God. I've never heard this before.
That.
I swear to God, I've never heard it.
It is out of control. And I'm mad that I didn't like blindside you with this in the episode.
Wow. I got some text last week from a friend who was not sad, but he loved Katy on American Idol. He was like, I never got that she was the mean one. I'm stunned to hear that anyone thinks that this was her undoing. He is also, without naming names, someone who works for Oprah Winfrey, and we've already established what a menace she is. So I don't think I'll be taking his opinion. I don't think I'll file it where I file mine. Moving right along, James Earl Jones has passed away, and when you think of, he was already like such an accomplished actor, but he'll always be known for voicing Darth Vader and Mufasa. That's like that's a giant who has passed away, like an absolute giant. He has 2 Tonys. He was nominated for an Oscar. Like, he was already an established, brilliant actor. And then all of a sudden someone was like, let's just use your voice for this shit. And that's what you're going to be known for. I want anyone that's had James Earl Jones do their outgoing voice message for them to contact our podcast so we can play it, because I understood he did do that for a handful of people. Referencing a joke he told when he was on Will and Grace, where he refused to do, I believe it was Jack's outgoing voicemail, but that he had done people's outgoing voicemails before as Darth Vader. R.I.P. He was 93 years old.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, summer is over, but the song of the fall, I think, is going to have to go to Paris Hilton and Megan Thee Stallion. Have you watched the video yet?
I haven't, but apparently it's incredible.
BBA, Bad Bitch Academy. It truly, I'm not saying who's going to win the presidency here, but it's the sort of like camp spirit that's bringing me back to the 2008, 2010 times where people were a little happier and more receptive to ridiculous entertainment. And it's good. It feels like Obama era entertainment, and it's just super fun. And the video looks incredibly expensive, which is something you don't see much anymore. And what I'm hoping is that Paris Hilton wins the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at next year's VMAs just for this one effort.
Oh, the VMAs are like what, this week?
If you're listening today on 9/11, they are tonight. So tonight would be the night that Katy Perry will accept the Video Vanguard Award. So we will next week talk about what we thought of it when we watch it. Well, what a chock full week. You know, I always find that these holiday weeks, there's very little going on. And then the week after is when people like Jennifer Lopez wear like a stripped disco ball. And they're like, we're here still.
She's like, it's all quiet on the Western Front.
Did you forget?
A little bit of leg. And then
here's my ass cheek. Right. Here's my ass cheek.
Yeah. And by leg, I mean like her entire thigh.
God, she looked gorgeous. Speaking of entire thigh, today we are fixing Tara Reid. And it is the whirlwind that you need. And you will hear this fix right after these very vital messages.
It's better over here. Now at T-Mobile, get 4 5G phones on us and 4 lines for $25 a line per month when you switch with eligible trade-ins. All on America's largest 5G network.
Minimum of 4 lines for $25 per line per month with autopay discount using debit or bank account. $5 more per line without autopay, plus taxes and fees and $10 device connection charge. Phones via 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on a required finance agreement due. Bill credits end if you pay off devices early. See T-Mobile.com.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Okay, you know them from their hit podcast, Bad TV. It's Dylan and Pat. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so excited and scared to talk about Tara Reid.
Yeah, same.
The source material this week is a little daunting. It is intimidating. 3 seconds of research, it's downright jarring. Everything about this first quarter century, I feel like, is Tara Reid's telling that story with her life. She's telling the story of this century.
When I heard the concept, I was thinking, okay, so they take a celebrity and then they fix that celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to a couple of your shows and I was like, oh, you guys are just mean.
We prefer constructive. Thank you.
Before you fix a problem, you need to identify the problem.
Yeah. In order to heal, you have to go through pain. And I'm so happy to be in concert with you guys because a lot of people say that we're, and they're wrong. We're just being truthful.
I meant
hilarious.
that as a compliment. People say that we're mean. And then I listened to you guys and I was like, wow.
Well, we have to pull the problem out at the root. So we got to get deep in there. And it's messy sometimes.
And you're like, oh yeah, this is the gay, meaner version. Like the more catty, gayer version of you guys being mean about something.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if we were straight, we would be described as mean. But because we're gay, we're just getting, oh, they're snazzy. Isn't that great? So we're snazzy.
Which is horrible.
Can I say,
brother,
you brought up that she told our story in the beginning of the century.
Uh-huh.
And that sounds like somebody could hear that and go, that's a little hyperbolic. It's not.
Not really.
Is absolutely craziest thing about Tara Reid is how much we cared. And that's mean, but it's crazy. There was a serious appetite for Tara Reid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and her destruction. I mean, her very long and just like, it was just watching a slow motion car crash over a period of years. There are certain people who are definitely to blame for this, one in particular who I'm sure will come up shortly, but she was a car wreck, like slowly. And as in the minimal amount of research that we do for our not fact-based podcast, I could not find like the pinpoint of when it all went. I have one superficial moment of when it could have all gone awry, but like career-wise, friend-wise, it just was so slow and it just built because she was so promising. When you think of American Pie, she played the Virgin in American Pie. Not
sure.
I had to remind myself of that.
But once again, going back to your original concept of fixing famous with the part of Tara Reid, I was thinking about that when you guys presented that name. Like, to do that, you'd have to literally get in a time machine and show up when she was 14 and pull a fifth of vodka out of her hand. Because that's where it started, right?
No, I have ideas how to fix her.
I'm telling you that we can do it. There's ways. There's always a way. There's always a way.
But before we get into how she has shaped our lives, at the top of the podcast, we do the middle name guessing game where we have our guests and Christopher guess the middle name of the individual that we're trying to fix. Tara Reid was born in 1975 in Wyckoff, New Jersey. What is Tara Reid?
Stop. She's from New Jersey.
She sure is.
Oh,
Are we going to feign surprise for that? What is Tara Reid's middle name?
I have it.
Yeah, I have mine. Go for it.
Dice.
Okay, is Tara Reid her real name?
Thank you for asking that question because that question popped into my head and then I examined the question. Like, does that matter? Is that
What's the question?
Is Tara Reid her real name?
Yes. She was born Tara Reid.
Okay. Tara, she was born what year?
1970.
I'm gonna get this one.
I'm gonna go like this. Yes, 1975. November 1975. I believe she's a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Well, Chris is thinking, can I submit a second submission for middle name?
Sure.
An asshole.
Okay. All right.
Tara, an asshole.
Okay. I'm gonna say Madison. I think Madison.
Oh, that's a beautiful guess.
Interesting.
Beautiful guess.
Yeah.
Chris, have you guessed?
I want to say Tara Renee Reid.
I was going to go
very
with
good guesses.
TRR.
When you hear it, I mean, I'm the oldest person here, so I probably think this is the funniest, but her middle name is Donna. Tara Donna Reid. I mean, it's so bizarre.
I can absolutely see that.
Tara Donna.
It was crazy to me to hear that she came from the Garden State because she did, in her final form, have kind of a full ashtray, double wide vibe to her. Mm-hmm. So that could be south of the Mason-Dixon. You just didn't know.
Good point.
I think I always knew she was from New Jersey, which is why I wasn't surprised. Chris,
No,
I was
she
surprised
gives
you
it-
didn't know she was from there.
No, she gives a New Jersey vibe. She gives a New Jersey vibe.
Donna strikes me as a middle name given to her. It's named after like a grandmother who was clearly depressed
her
and sad and disappointed.
her grandmother Donna.
The next 20 years.
Yeah.
Donna had thick knuckles.
Yeah.
Oh, Aunt Donna. Tara was actually a child star, which I did not know. She's been acting since she was 6 years old. She did a bunch of commercials. She was a regular on a game show called Child's Play. Chris, if I don't remember this, you wouldn't, right?
No, I don't remember.
Play. I also did not remember.
Wasn't that Chucky? Isn't it?
This is the first thing I thought she played
Chucky?
Chucky. No, it was a game show, but it was a game show called Child's Play.
I remember the name. Yeah.
I'm
a
don't
child of the
remember.
80s, Dominic.
Same. And I'm
Oh
surprised.
no, yeah, this looks like before me. Yeah,
it had to be. She was in The Big Lebowski, which I don't even think I remember that at all, and I've seen it a couple of times.
When you said that she had promise, the first thing I go to is she passed casting for a Coen Brothers movie. I mean, this is like, that's a serious, piece of
pedigree,
art.
You would think.
Yeah. And then we're at Sharknado 6. So it went really fucking awry.
And you know what?
I don't know.
We'll get there, but like she's a casualty of the like Britney Paris, Lindsay tabloid days.
Yes, but she got it the worst.
She really is, and she got it the worst. And I said to Dominic before we were like scheduling some things before recording this, and I said it's really sad because Tara Reid's basically Anna Nicole Smith, but she's still alive. Like
that's what would have happened.
Like, that's kind of what she is. Like, and it even I was googling some like newer like interviews with her, and like it's rough.
Did
still
Anna,
wow.
Yeah,
I guess did Anna Nicole? Was there a culture of rehab when Anna Nicole Smith was running around?
I think she went in rehab a couple times because there's been like a renaissance of Anna Nicole Smith the last couple of years and multiple docs, and I do believe that
why
she went. There's something about her. I think there's a.
I think it got the Pam documentary and all the other those that she's of that ilk as well.
Yeah.
Like the Pamela Anderson stuff. Like that's the next thing you're going to is Anna Nicole Smith.
Well,
and I think there's a new documentary about her life.
The day that Anna Nicole Smith died, they covered it wall to wall on CNN, and I will never forget. There used to be this hardened New York reporter named Jack Cafferty who was temporarily working at CNN. And he had like the 4 to 6 o'clock show, and then Wolf Blitzer. He had the 6 o'clock show. Wolf was on from 4 to 6, and Jack came on at 6. Wolf only covered Anna Nicole Smith that day, and he was like, "We're gonna send it over to Jack Cafferty." And Jack goes, "Thanks, Wolf. What's the update on that Anna Nicole story? She's still dead?" And Wolf Blitzer like didn't hear him. It was like, "Yes, Jack, she still is." I'm sure you can find this on YouTube. It is hilarious.
And they only had one clip of footage, and that was aerial footage of her dead body on a whatever being rolled out.
Right, being rolled out. And then it was that they just kept showing the same like 10 horrific clips.
Sorry,
of her.
so was that guy that was doing that spot on CNN? Was he like a Bob Woodward kind of guy? And then they were just.
But he was the actual anchor. Like he was the actual anchor. But I grew up watching him on NBC in New York, and then the end of his career was on CNN. But he was like a grizzled, loosened tie, sleeves rolled up newsman. He might have even been smoking on set that day.
It sounds like he was like, chain smoking.
He's one of those.
That's like we wish we could do that. We wish we could just be smoking cigarettes on this podcast.
Can I give some perspective on that era? And we're talking early 2000s to mid 2000s.
And Anna Nicole Smith is a completely different, sad blonde. And I don't know how we got down this route, but I'm sorry if it was me.
I know. I think there's similar trajectories. But although I'd say Tara's was the bottle, and I think Anna's was pills. But they were in the era where still starlets were partying and doing drugs, and it wasn't this can kill you.
Right.
It was then like hunting them down while they were partying to get. I mean, how many? The holy trinity of Britney, Paris, and Lindsay Lohan in that car together. You know what I mean? That was like the biggest picture in the whole world.
Like, and they knew they would be followed. They knew they would be followed, and they still went out every single night. Like, you would wake up and read delisted in Perez every day, and it was where those girls were the night before. Every day.
Do you guys remember the footage of Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian before it was Kim Kardashian walking down to get into the club? And the poor guy has them in. And by the way, there's like a TMZ version there, and it shows Tara Reid not getting through the line.
It's the cringiest, one of the cringiest celebrity videos I've ever seen.
And to that fucking doorman, who the fuck are you, man? Well, how dare you set her up for this?
Yeah, because he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
No, she was always the fall guy. Like, they beat her the fuck up. Like,
always.
Even when they weren't beating up Paris Hilton, who they've dragged through the mud time and time again, threw her off a cliff, ran her over, and then dragged her again through the mud.
Yeah. Because Paris was running that whole thing.
They were even like, no, you're still not good enough to be in here, Tara Reid. You're not even good enough to get hit by this bus.
So
you know what I mean?
She was running the whole operation from her Trio or her BlackBerry at that time. She was absolutely
her sidekick. All of it. Her sidekick, Dominic.
But it's really brutal. It's really brutal because Tara Reid is standing there and they pass her. And if you look at it, Tara looks at the dude and goes, "Really?" And he's just like, "Yeah." She says "really" out loud. It's so horrible. Oh my God. The other thing, though, really chronologically, I'm trying to figure out, because American Pie was huge. She
American Pie launches her into fame.
But then it just sort of goes downhill. I mean, I know Josie and the Pussycats was a bit of a failure, but
Dominic, they made a lot of fodder out of that being a colossal failure at the time. Because that was supposed to make money. That was a summer release. And
Josie and the Pussycats?
Josie and the Pussycats. And she was dating Carson Daly.
Carson
Daly. At the time,
Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow. She was dating Carson Daly. I forgot about that.
Yeah, for a while.
Their marriage
never got married.
They weren't married.
This engagement is insane. They got engaged after 7 months, and then she calls the wedding off because she has a shoot to go do. So it was like a scheduling thing. She just completely called off the wedding.
She's like, I'm not tech avail for this wedding. I'm not tech avail. She's like,
why'd you guys propose?
Honestly, they would have ended up divorced, but if she had just stayed with him for a minute, maybe things could have smoothed out. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
But why is she becoming this party girl? So let's think about this. Like, we have American Pie where she's like the virgin, right? And she becomes like a huge celebrity off of American Pie. But then does nothing happen after? Like, she just doesn't, because there's like American Pie, like 17? There's like 9 million of them.
Right.
So she's in all of those. Why does nothing else come her way?
But this is the thing. Even I'm looking at her timeline now, even after Josie and the Pussycats, she appeared in a Robert Altman movie. She was in Dr. T and the Women.
I don't remember that one. He might have died soon after
Honestly, it's like this wheat trap where she started to kind of do certain roles. And then because she was doing those roles, I don't think the rest of the industry opened up to her. They were like,
you're an American Pie. Like, give me a break, right?
Doing those kinds of movies.
Can I throw my theory out there? All right. So not to get ahead of myself, but her career was definitely thrown in the trash. Once you start doing reality TV, people just look at you in a different way. Very few celebrities make it back into the mainstream after doing a string reality TV. But I think she may have been difficult on the set because she was partying. She was the last person at the party, which you should never be.
Hollywood, outside of the sexual harassment, fun stuff like that, Hollywood is a very productive place. You do not fuck around on movie sets and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like if you're remember when like Lindsay Lohan was late to like Georgia Rule and she couldn't show up? That's like hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Like Jane Fonda went in her trailer and let her have it.
Yeah.
No, because Jane Fonda is a fucking pro.
Right.
Okay.
No, was it Jane Fonda in Georgia Rule? I thought it was, what's her name? Felicity Huffman.
I thought I could be wrong.
Another pro.
Hold on. Wait, maybe Jane Fonda isn't it too? She is. You're right.
Jesus, man.
All right, but can we talk about the pivotal moment for me was walking the carpet? It was Diddy's
with the
party
black dress
in 2004.
Yeah.
It was her. I mean, if there had to be a moment, the moment her titty fell out and a row of photographers did absolutely nothing except still shoot. And they knew she didn't know. And then her publicist, her friend, had to come out and cover up her tit. That's another cringy video where she's looking at her and you can see her say, it was out the whole time. And she's like, yeah. And she's just she's mortified.
It was her Denise Richards with the jacket on backwards.
Sure.
This is worse. No way.
How high on pills are you right now?
One of the truly, I mean, I can think of in a small list of things that Dorit has done that's been amazing on that show.
Darling.
That's probably top of the list.
Don't do it. Yeah. Don't do this. No, she's trying to help you.
Don't do this. No, I really just think that your thing is on backwards. Yeah.
I know what you're doing.
I know what you're doing. So funny. When I think of Tara Reid, that's what I think of, is her in the black dress on whatever red carpet that was. And for people that are younger than, like a little bit younger than me, you probably don't even know what this is, but like she bops on this red carpet. She turns to the side and is posing for the paparazzi, like for the cameras on the red carpet. Her strap of her dress falls down and her entire boob is out for like a minute.
But
like
also, she has also
seconds.
had some pretty unsuccessful plastic surgery, which is now visible to the world. Like,
right.
As objective and respectively as possible, she did not have a very good boob job, and she had other work done, which was now visible. And that was why she just sort of plummeted socially after that. And just was too embarrassing.
Can I really quickly, I have a quote from a place called Laney Gossip.
I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. Go ahead.
And I just want to say this just so that we and like the audience understands what the ecosystem of tabloid horror was at the time.
Oh, no.
Tara Reid had gone through a couple of different cosmetic surgeries, and I'm sorry if I'm rushing us forward or anything, but this was from an article. Before long, the posing turned into some sort of stomach demonstration. It's a ghastly protruding thing, isn't it? Like it might detach from her and start killing things.
Jesus Christ, what is that from?
It's from a gossip rag on Tara Reid.
Which meanwhile, she's like what? Probably 120 pounds. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it deformed her stomach. Whatever the lipo that she had done something to, where her abs as well. Like, and she would still like midriff herself as well. This was also an era where none of those women were wearing underwear at all, and so it was somehow very easy to take so much, too much. Yeah. So for this podcast, too much. Yeah.
But just normally they're getting ripped like to shreds, let alone her boob falls out or you see her stomach protruding. You know what I mean? Like that's
it's so interesting to think about the eras of partying. Like this was, you think about like, I don't know. I know like Jim Morrison stuff and who's the Janis Joplin.
Okay. So that was like rock clubs like the Whiskey A Go-Go and discotheques were starting, but that was like beat poets type of thing and then morphed into 70s disco.
Right. But there's a romanticism. Maybe it's just I'm far away from it, so I look at it like this, but that was romantic. Tara Reid and Paris and Kim was just a sloppy, stumbly mess. There was no sheen to it at all. It was just gross.
Dominick and Chris, let me ask you this, because my wife used to travel in the same groups as Tara Reid back in the mid 2000s. So they would pass by each other at all the quote unquote hot clubs. And my wife and I were talking the other night, like in the era of the 2000s, waiting in those long lines, the status of getting in, all the good looking people, these clubs, very expensive, all the celebrities there. I don't think that really, maybe I'm old, but I don't think that exists right now the way that it existed.
No way.
Not in the same way. Not in the same way.
Young people like don't go to clubs. Like they do. There are the club kids and all that stuff, but like people that are 24, like I don't see any videos on Instagram of like 24-year-olds in a club in New York City.
Not like that. And now it's occasional. It feels occasional now, where back then it was like in the fire crotch. We'll call it the fire crotch era. Those girls were out every single night and being raked over the coals on the website the following day.
But that was like where you went to hang out was a club. Now it's like you're doing that for like a bachelorette party, maybe. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the thing, like even in like the hills, whenever LC and like they would go to like Ladue and Area. And like I still remember all the clubs because I remember being like a 15-year-old being like, oh my God, like they're so old and they're going to these clubs and it's like they're all sitting around and meanwhile they don't even fucking do anything. They're just all sitting in the VIP area looking like turds. But they're like, that was like so cool back then. Do you know what I mean? And like that was like what you wanted to do. Well, and now one of the reasons, I mean, people have just, I think, bought nice houses and then had people there because
we're still talking about 24 to 32 age though, with that era still not having enough money for those type of things. But I think now they just go to like, I don't know, wineries and
the famous
pubs. Yeah, the club, the like $5 beer at a club is like not what they're doing.
No.
From what I'm seeing on the internet.
No.
At least.
And maybe
where if you go back on my old Facebook that I've since deleted the photos of, like in college and early in New York, like please, I was like, you know what I mean? We were like at like some dive bar getting like $3 gross ass drinks that were disgusting. Like, you know what I mean? Like basically the guy spitting in our, it was like amazing. Yeah. Like that was like so much fun. And you were like having the best time. And I don't know. I just don't feel that they're doing that.
It's the fucking marijuana is what it is. It's chilled us all
I think
out.
the culture has shifted to kind of not be that thirsty status kind of thing. I could be wrong. I'm not 22, but I just don't think they look at that as cool anymore. I think they look at
their thirsty status is like doing stuff for Instagram. Like
right. Well, that's
TikTok
the thing. You don't need to leave your house to get attention. That's the real difference. Like back then was when this was all in its infancy and the people running the sites were controlling the publicity for all of these kids because they were the ones putting their antics online. Now they just do the antics themselves in their own kitchen or their yards or on their dashboard of their cars. Like they almost don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Their bedroom is the club.
While they play video games. Really crazy what's going on. I think these kids are so rich. But anyway.
Can I make a point about Tara Reid?
They are rich.
Yes.
That red carpet where her breast was exposed. Yes. I think Tara Reid never looked at, okay, so we just had a girl do the national anthem, and I think she just said, I'm going to rehab.
Yeah.
Because she had a few All right.
She should go to rehab.
Massive fuck up. But I think Tara Reid never understood, even if you're walking a red carpet, that's still work. So you don't start drinking at 10 a.m. and then go to that thing. Like that's still work that day because that's part of your brand and business. And I don't think she looked at it that way. I think it was just a party. I'm going to walk on the red carpet. Fuck it.
It's amazing to me that like my mom was in the music business in the 70s and the 80s. And the stories you hear of how fucked up people were constantly. And now you think about it and you're like, that would be such an ick if everybody is just here to do a fucking job or go to an event and somebody is smacked on, I don't know, vodka or heroin. I mean,
like every drug in the book.
Every drug in the book.
She did. I forgot about her reality show, Paradise, until we just brought it up. Yeah. And it came much earlier than I thought because it was, I mean, you might be right what you said before, but it was in 2005. It was short-lived, but I mean, who could forget the name? It was canceled after just one season. It was on E. E also, like Tara Reid, a big part of the early part of this century.
Right.
Sure.
Did you guys watch it? I did because
I didn't. I don't think I did.
It was on at 11 o'clock at night, and she would be smashed out of her mind.
Mighty.
Well, the craziest thing about this show is I don't know if you guys knew this, but it was a very long-running show on E. I think it was called Wild On.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And they gave it to her, right?
They gave it to her and completely changed the show to just show her getting fucked up.
Yeah,
right.
Wild On had multiple female hosts, right?
Okay.
I think. And some of them are podcasters now.
Because Wild On, I think, was a series initially where it was like Wild On this place, Wild On that place. And then they just turned it into Wild On, where they just went everywhere rather than a series of specials. And they did they had rotating hosts, I'm pretty sure.
That's right. Here's the pitch meeting from Tara Reid's agent. All right, Tara, look, we're gonna reinvent you, okay? Here's the deal. A lot of people in town, they think, you're partying a little too much, you're drunk, we can't put you on a movie set, but we're gonna reinvent you. You're gonna host a show where we fly you around the world where you drink until 4 a.m, thus driving what's left of your career into a brick wall.
He was like, okay,
sounds good.
It really was. Now that I'm hearing all this and it's absorbing, like they really were like throwing her right into reality when it's like, no, you should be doing this like when Lisa Rinna is doing it at the end of her acting career when no one wants to give her a job. And then she's like skyrocketed into like bigger fame than ever.
May I read you these sentences? I'm on thelist.com reading an article called The Tragic Story of Tara Reid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Reid took her show on the road in 2005 with the short-lived Paradise, an e-docuseries that featured her jet-setting to exotic locales like Italy, France, and Greece, where she dined and danced the night away, cavorting and club-hopping her way to cancellation after just one season. The show featured some spectacularly alcohol-fueled, cringeworthy moments and ultimately did Reid's reputation more harm than good.
See, well, that's fucked up. I don't like that.
You did it. I mean, you nailed it right off the top.
No, you really did. Because that's the thing that sucks is that it's like, that's not even a show. That's just them filming her being drunk. Like that's just basically us at the end of a all cast trip on Real Housewives.
I was about to say we've also had those jobs with people we pretend are less trashy than Tara Reid.
Like Dominic and I have both been there to do that. So it's like that to me is like annoying because it's like you didn't even try to make this a good show. You just like wanted to capture on camera.
What I'm thinking. Like, what are these
being an alcoholic
doing? These suits at E are just coming up with I mean, there is not an ounce of creativity in that at all.
It's wildly entertaining to watch.
She has said in an interview with Time, which that alone just is.
That's a weird.
I feel bad for her now.
When Time reached out to Tara Reid, no, she said she didn't think it was going to be a train wreck. She didn't realize that the show would hurt her. She thought it would be fun, but it's where her party image came from. And she said, if I was staying home and I'm not going to get the meetings anyway, then what's the difference? I should just do the show.
Sure.
So again, her fortunes turned very quickly. Her fortunes turned way too quickly.
Guys, and as you know, you guys are in the entertainment business. Tomorrow is not guaranteed as far as work when you're an actress or a creative person.
Sure.
Okay. If you want guaranteed work, go get an electrician license. Okay. If you want to be in the arts, then you never know. So she knows that. I think that's kind of an excuse. She could have gone to New York and done plays in the summer. I mean, with that kind of name, people would hire her.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just to, woe is me.
And she was, you know what? Speaking of, the hills, like she kind of has a little Lauren Conrad about her as like that girl next door. Like she really started as, I mean, nowadays she looks what she looks like, but like in earlier photos of her, like she really is like that pretty girl next door that's like, everyone likes and everyone knows and is friends with. And I don't know, it's really sad. Like the more we're talking about it, the sadder I'm getting because it's like,
it's heartbreaking.
She really could have been a great actor. And like, I actually don't think she's like not talented. Like, I don't think she's untalented.
There's no reason why she shouldn't have a series on Netflix or any of the other million streaming services with that name recognition. Sometimes I feel it's the excuses. They just don't want to work.
It's so weird though, that because she's a joke now. She's like a walking, living meme. So if she's on anything, it has to kind of acknowledge that. It's so hard.
The reason for that is because then she bops her way over to Sharknado, which was the first of many, and I think the one that lasted the longest, that was like these like bad B movies on purpose that were going to be funny and like a joke that it was a movie. And like, wasn't there another? There was like Sharknado. Then there was like another one that was like
a ton of them, and
a storm of spiders or something. I'm making that up, but like
Goblin Storm or shit.
So there's a ton of them. But we should say first, she did actually in 2008 go to rehab at the peak of her party days, because that booby falling out was not like the last time that she had like a mishap like that on her right. I think it kept happening. Enter Perez Hilton, who really seemed to have it out. I mean, he had it out for that entire group of women, but with her, he was sort of particularly vicious. Like he kicked them all pretty hard, but he really went after her a lot. And Sharknado came in 2013. That was the fix. Like she was being thrown a lifeline, maybe not the one she wanted, but she could have existed fine as this sort of, camp actress, like she could just be that for forever and live comfortably.
But I think that they cast Tara Reid because it was Tara Reid. And I think that actually, I think it really hurt her.
Being in Sharknado?
It didn't help. Yeah.
See, But I feel like where she was before then, that this was sort of, I mean, I understand going from Jeff Bridges to Ian Ziering is a real kick in the cunt, but I mean, she's got to like, it's a job,
When talking about though, how to fix her, this is kind of one of the core questions is where do you put the ceiling on Tara?
Right.
Because,
no, you're right. You're right.
Maybe she can go higher than Sharknado.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I definitely think so. I'm not going to tip my hand here. I think she's got enough experience and just fucking like a perfect mix of anger and jadedness to take this to the next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
God, I know exactly what you're going to do.
No, you don't. No, you do not.
Really? Do I really not know?
You don't.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I want to say this. Think about Robert Downey Jr. in the late 90s. The guy passed out in someone else's house in their kid's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I think he did jail time. And, 10 years later, he basically heads up Marvel's new line.
Sure.
Academy Award.
So it is possible. But then again, Robert Downey Jr. was never on Celebrity Sex Club with Dr. Drew.
That's the thing. This is the other thing. Then she appears on Marriage Boot Camp and gets booted off of Marriage Boot Camp because the person that she's in a serious relationship with, they say that they're not in a serious relationship.
I watched it.
How was it? Because her partner on Marriage Boot Camp needed money for taxes, so she went along with this, right?
That's right. So he was a club promoter, and my wife and I were newly in a relationship. My wife was in the clubs back in the day. She knew him personally and recognized him.
Where's your wife? Your wife should be here to tell us about
her. And I was taking care of the kids. But yeah.
She's awful on the mic.
And she was like, you could tell like he was like a power broker in kind of the club promoting game where he had like 10 of the hottest clubs that his job was to get the good looking people
to go.
Yeah. And that was Tara's, clearly she'd be dating a club promoter at that point.
So can you win this podcast? Like,
in what way?
Can you have the best idea to fix her?
Well, that's what we do. Yeah. You're going to judge which of our ideas is the best. If you have an idea that you think is better, air it, and if we think that it's actually better than ours, we will award it the win.
I love
it. Has happened before.
So democratic. Yeah.
It has happened before.
I already know how to fix her, but I'm willing to hear you.
No, we love a challenge. We both have to agree, though. Sometimes people have come in here very proud, and we're like, I'm afraid that's not moving the needle.
You have to pick one of us.
It is your show, after all. It's your show.
Yeah. Even when we're not in control and we concede the control to you, we still are in control.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be an episode about Tara Reid if I were not to mention when she goes on Jenny McCarthy's podcast.
Please tell the story.
Have you heard this? Are you aware of this? So she goes on Jenny McCarthy's podcast / like radio show. I don't know what it was. And it's like on the internet, you can find just this like the 20 seconds where they get really mean to each other. But she basically goes on to Jenny McCarthy's podcast. And this is like years later after Sharknado is like, it's like the last Sharknado is happening. And so she's doing press for like Sharknado 6 or something. She goes on Jenny McCarthy's podcast and Jenny McCarthy asks her about all the work that she's had done and like, does she want to get more plastic surgery? And she doesn't think she should. And eventually she keeps pushing it and keeps pushing it. And eventually Tara Reid just goes, yeah, I've said like 100 times that I'm not going to get any more plastic surgery. Maybe you haven't listened to me. And they start fighting. And it is the funniest thing. And she's like, okay, Tara, well, so much love to you, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I hope you stay married.
Oh my God. It's so uncomfortable.
And she goes, I hope you also stay married. And she goes, and there's something like, I hope you get your knees done or something like that. I can't remember.
They're really mean to each other. But Jenny started it.
I hope that was done over Zoom because that would have been really uncomfortable.
I think it was like in person.
No, it was live. I think they were in the same room and Tara left. And Jenny was baiting.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me just see if I can find it and play it for us. Tara.
Maybe she really did make some fucking enemies because she seems to have a lot of animosity directed towards her.
I do think what you said earlier about her misbehaving on set, I think that was pretty common. And I think that when you rub someone the wrong way in that category one time, you really can't ever dig out of it in show business. You know what I mean? It's not
difficult to work with. Only works with men who have made hits.
You got to be Marlon Brando. Yeah. Then you can throw like your lunch at a PA.
Or that fucking guy. Who's that? Is it David O. Russell? That's the massive
He's the
asshole.
asshole.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the massive asshole.
Oh my God. Did you ever see that video of him with Lily Tomlin? I watched it last week.
You guys coached me up on Bradley Cooper that on the set when he's directing, he doesn't allow people to sit in chairs.
Yes. My God.
He's a monster.
He's a monster and a menace. He's
crazy.
a menace to Hollywood.
We did see that clip of him and Lily Tomlinson on
David O. Russell and Lily Tomlin. It's it's jarring.
Fucking bitch.
And Lily is just such a cool customer.
She just sat there. Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a child having a fucking fit in front of me, and he's the head of this entire movie.
Crazy.
Okay. I think I have the fight. I think I have the fight ready to go.
Okay.
You look great now. So you're good and done not moving forward with plastic surgery.
I think I made that clear like about 100 times. I know.
I didn't hear that 100 times. I'm so sorry.
Maybe you only read the bad things, but I've been made that really clear so many years. But
does it
read what you want to read? But I think it was really nice talking to you, and really good luck with your show. And
good luck to you too. And I'm so excited about Sharknado, and I hope you stay married. And I hope
you stay married too.
I will, and I hope your knees get a little wobblier than they already are. So
I think my knees. Oh yeah, I hope your tits get even nicer. It's amazing. Same guy to mine, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, same guy.
I'll always use your advice. You're the best. Bye.
Love you, Tara. Good luck with Sharknado 18.
Good luck with Sharknado 18.
I hate her, but that's
unequivocally a slam. Like that is like
between men and women fighting. I love how the tone of the voice or volume never rises, but it's still the meanest shit ever.
The battle escalates with any volume increase. And it's a serious fucking escalation. Unbelievable.
Oh my God, that was great. She goes, I hope your knees get wobblier than they already are.
Wowza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Tara has that kind of voice that can only be created with 3 packs of cigs a day. There's something dry in the vocal cords.
Oh yeah.
And it's great. I could listen to it all day. That's the sad thing. Well, I do listen to it all day because it's me and Dominic talking back and forth to each other.
No, if she was Spanish or Argentinian, oh my God, that voice would be perfect.
Yeah,
but she's not.
It's so God. What else do we need to say about her before we do this?
I'm so eager to hear how you guys would fix this.
I have 2. I'm trying to pick between 2. I know exactly what she needs. It's all anyone ever needs in her position. But is this one thing? You just need this one thing. Are you ready to fix her, Christopher?
I think I'm ready. Okay. Tara, Renee, Donna Reid. You have a story to tell. And that story should best be told in a celebrity memoir. I want you to copy exactly what Pamela Anderson did by writing a book telling us every single, I want to hear when my boob popped out when I was wearing the black dress. This is what I was thinking, and this is what happened. And then I said this, and then we ran into a back room. And I want to hear every single solitary detail about all these things. You getting in a fight with Jenny McCarthy, you being on the set of The Big Lebowski. Even people that don't really care about her will read that. You being on the set of American Pie, blah, blah, blah. You rising to fame, you having to do all these reality shows that I completely forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a humongous PR push when this memoir comes out that is she goes on all the talk shows, blah, blah, blah. And then that ends in some kind of docu-series on either Netflix or Max or a streamer that is following her in the aftermath of the book coming out. And I want her to name names.
Now, Chris, do we give any thoughts or any feedback?
No.
We wait to hear both.
Dom's.
You can, but
you can ask questions.
You can ask questions.
It's worth pointing out Bill Cosby had a memoir.
Okay, all right, just
okay.
Okay.
So basically, Chris, your fix is for her to go the Bill Cosby route, is what we're hearing,
correct.
Right?
Yes,
okay, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Tara Donna Reid, I don't know that I'm interested in the memoir necessarily from her. I feel like she's done enough janky interviews talking about it, including the one we just heard with Jenny McCarthy. I don't know, when Dylan and Pat were talking about earlier, whether or not she is actually just lazy. Is she a complainer who is largely responsible. She could be. So the only way to fix her and see if she was ever worth her salt at all, she needs one role. That's it. She needs one good role to launch her back. Now, I'm sort of deciding between two things here. God. Could she be, with all of this pent up, what I would assume is rage and just jadedness or whatever, could she be, if we're going to be redoing the Marvel movies or rebooting them, I mean,
how dare you,
can she be a villain? Is she the next Valkyrie? Can she replace your girl, Kate Blanchett? Like, I feel like Valkyrie's a great role for her.
I can see in Black Panther.
She would so good in Black Panther.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
But
can you imagine our memoir, our in memoriam to Chadwick Boseman? She's the villain of that. So unbelievably disrespectful.
Dominic, you were
sorry,
saying?
Dominic.
No, I'm just trying to picture it. It's if we can't get Marvel to do her as a villain, then it's just time for her and someone else, maybe Lindsay Lohan. I mean, I know that she's going to be doing Freaky Friday too, but I cannot think of a person that I would want to cast more in a remake of whatever happened to Baby Jane than Tara Reid in Betty Davis's part.
All right.
Oh, you know what? It should be Netflix. They should give it like the Ripley treatment where we've already seen it before, but that's good. Right. And she's really good in it. And she'd be booked for the rest of her life if she did something like that. So the real pitch is like, she just needs that pivotal role. I think Baby Jane would be the better role for her.
In the business, Dominic, we call it the Mickey Rourke effect. The guy was a drunken loser for 2 decades, and they put him in The Wrestler.
Okay. Can I say, out of your twos, I think Dom's is better just because the ceiling is too low on yours, Chris. Because, who is going to use that book for anything other than kindling or toilet paper?
Sure.
But
I will say that all the memoirs coming out, though, the Paris, the Brittany, the whatever, and I'm not trying to defend my own pitch, but there is a market. There is a market.
There's for sure a market.
Continue on.
But she can be so much more. Now, I love this idea of, and if you don't mind, could we begin our pitches?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I by the way, I'm not going to. Dominic's, yours is a little bit stronger because we've actually seen that play out with a few people. Some could argue John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
Right.
That was a reinvention of him as well.
Sure.
So when we're talking about a specific role, she needs to become a muse for some auteur.
Who did Oppenheimer?
Christopher Nolan.
All right. She's got to run into him at a bar.
I'm thinking a little bit grittier. I think it's going to be something less, pretty, but maybe the Tarantino thing won't happen because he's going to hang it up after 10. But if she was in a Tarantino movie or something like that, something that could erase the cheesy campiness of her and really solidify her as a serious actress, that would be great. Or, I think this is a better idea, you have someone pen a novel, like a really good novel, may win some awards and stuff. And it's a pseudonym, and Tara Reid wrote the entire thing. Now, after that, and it doesn't matter if she's bad at writing, some weird philanthropist needs to make this happen. Find a writer who can do it. Just make sure everybody knows it's Tara Reid. She doesn't have to do anything in her life after that. She could become a cultural myth after that happens. But okay, so that's my pitch.
Wow. All right. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. Here's my pitch. This is kind of complicated. So listen up. All right.
Okay.
Tara Reid is eating at a Applebee's at 4 p.m. Okay. Some punks come in that Applebee's, right? And they go to a table where 2 elderly people are like drinking their soup through straws. Okay. Right. And they put guns to these elderly people. Yeah. Tara pulls out a gun because she's holding, right? She blows those 2 people away. Everybody's filming the entire thing. she becomes an instant hero. America loves a hero.
Right.
She's a vigilante.
Yeah. But they didn't know that she hired those two guys as actors, right? You know how a guy's husband tries to have a
Jesse Smollett. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. But she kills the only two witnesses. She becomes America's sweetheart. The next thing you know, she's in every other movie for the next 2 years.
And then she runs for the Oval Office.
You got it.
Yeah,
ding, ding, ding,
runs for
I
president.
won.
Yeah.
There.
Dominic has pitched for people to run as vice president before.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
It's a great pitch. It's a great pitch. So, do you guys feel that those two were any better than the fixes that you
literally not one fiber of my being felt that way. Nothing. Not at all. I loved listening to them, but victory? No, not this week, gentlemen. I'm so sorry.
Dominic, I give it to you. Nothing like everyone loves to come back. If you get the right role at the right time, you can reinvent people's careers. I think that's the way she should go.
Yep.
And now, outside of the pitching, I'm truly surprised Ryan Murphy hasn't just snatched her up for anything.
I know.
Oh,
she's so right for him.
Yeah.
You know, like she could be the Jessica Lange of the 2030s for Ryan Murphy.
And there could be they could do one that's like American Horror Story, like tabloids. And it's like,
love it.
Doing
my gosh, that's such a good idea.
Corey Feldman will be in the latex thing.
Yeah, he sucks.
Tara Reid, she can play herself.
But you know what I mean? She could play like herself, basically. Yeah.
I bet she would
got an
need to
idea.
do it.
She plays a woman named Donna.
Donna Reid.
I like it.
No, but Dominic, you win. You're right. If she had one real role, and P.S., she would get a memoir deal from doing that one role. Right. You know what I mean? Like she would then just go write a memoir afterwards and we'd all buy it.
Do you think people would buy that book? You think they would buy Tara Reid's book?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be in Barnes.
Especially if she slept with other celebrities and she's willing to tell.
But it would be like one of those books where if you saw it in anybody's house, you'd be like, you read that?
Yeah. If she spilled the secrets, it would be fun.
Oh, and she knows where the bodies are buried.
Them, right? She must.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
yeah.
It almost begs the question, why hasn't she said something already, really?
That's a good point. Well, there's still time.
I bet now that Lindsay is back and in the spotlight, and once Freaky Friday 2 comes out, I bet Tara's going to be nosing around for why must she be the only one from that? She's going to come up.
Do you remember when the drummer for Guns N' Roses showed up to Celebrity Rehab with crack?
No. Oh, my God.
I always tell Dylan the best era of reality TV was 2005 to 2010. They could never do what they were doing. Now what they were doing then.
Yeah. You're right.
It was lawless. For real.
It was lawless.
That was the era that made all the releases the size of phone books. For real.
Yeah, for real. 4 pages. Yeah. Oh, well, Dominic, you win. You needed a win. So
I did. It's been a minute,
I'm glad you got
actually.
one. Dylan and Pat, thank you so much for being here. This has been great.
Thank you so much for having us. It was really, really fun.
Really fun.
And quite heartbreaking to read
about Tara Reid.
Yes. It's an important cautionary tale.
Are you guys watching Real Housewives of Orange County or The Bachelor?
Oh, I'm watching Orange County. I let it wash all over me. It was
you got to come on our show and talk OC with us and my baby sister.
I would love to.
Yeah, Shannon Bedore's a drunk.
She's a real hardcore drunk.
That's the consensus.
Okay, I'm sorry though. Team Shannon for this one time ever.
Yeah.
And she looked fucking great in the premiere. At that party where Alexis tries to when she goes up to her and she's like, I'm not even here to talk about John Jansen. I'm here to destroy you about the lawsuit. And she looked great. And Alexis is like, no, this is actually about this. And she's like, it's actually not. I was like,
she's like, I don't know why she didn't believe her. She was like, I'm very pissed that you are the reason I lost.
I've never seen Shannon be in such control, and it was exhilarating.
Yeah.
Exhilarating. Anyway, Dylan and Pat, tell people where they can find your podcast and what it's about.
Go ahead.
Bad TV, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Right now, we're recapping Below Deck, Mediterranean, Real Housewives of Orange County, and The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Yep. So 3 shows a week on that feed, and some of them we do with Dylan's baby sister, Ruby Wrenn. And she smooths over the rough edges that Dylan and I have.
Yeah. That's a good pitch.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a good pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic, where can people find you?
At Dominick Pupa on socials or the website's dominatory.com. Chris, where can we find you?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. I wish you all well. And as always, where's Shelly? Goodbye.